passion, the energy levels go up. Full energy levels reached. We're ready to go. This is the energy. This is the energy.
Like I'm tired of being what you want me to be, feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me, put under the pressure of walking in your shoes. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. And every second I waste is more than I can take. I become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you. I do the same thing I told you that I never would. I told you I changed, even when I knew I never could. Know that I can't find nobody else as good as you. I need you to stay, need you to stay. I do the same thing I told you that I never would. I told you I changed, even when I knew I never could. Know that I can't find nobody else as good as you. I need you to stay, need you to stay. Told you that I never would. I told you I changed, even when I knew I never could. Know that I can't find nobody else as good as you. I need you to stay, need you to stay.
All right, all right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Star Atlas Townhall. We are here. I think this is Townhall number 31. So I'm really happy to be here again on stage with the one and only Michael the Swag Swagner. How are you, Michael?
Hey, good afternoon, Santi. How are you doing, man?
Doing good. I'm doing really good. How are you feeling?
Yeah, well, pretty good overall. It's a fantastic week, very energizing week following last week's Copa event. As you know, I've been traveling quite a bit. I was in Austin 2 weeks ago for Consensus. I'm currently out in New York representing Star Atlas for NFT NYC. I did pick up a little bit of a bug in these travels, so I'm kind of under the weather today. But fortunately, we have a couple of great guests joining us today, so you won't be hearing as much from me, but some really amazing content from Jim Carter. He's a distinguished engineer with us. He's been with us for over a year now, and he leads up the web. He's a senior leader in web and game development teams. And then we also have Christopher Smith joining us, and he's a lead game designer with Sperasoft. It's the fantastic co-development studio that we've been working with for about 9 months now, and their focus has been on developing out and getting the Volant Studio showroom prepared for release. So more updates to come on all of that. But Santi, as always, I'm happy to be here with you and with everybody in the audience.
Yeah, man. Thank you for joining me as always. And as you said, we have a very, very interesting town hall. We had a super intense week last week with Copa. I think it was a great event. Hope that everybody enjoyed it as much as we did. It was a lot of coordination. And just to address something, we decided to do it on Discord, like on purpose. We felt like it was the Star Atlas community lives in Discord in some way, and we wanted to be as close as we can to you. And I think we actually achieved that with Discord. We knew that it wasn't the easiest path to follow to do an event like Copa, but actually I think it felt really nice, and we felt really close to you. All the people raving during the base trackers set and everything. So yeah, I loved it. I loved it. What about you, Michael? How did you feel about it?
I thought it was world class. I mean, we described it as a historic event for Star Atlas community, and I believe that to be true. I think it was a historic event for the Web3 community as well. So, for anyone out there that actually isn't familiar, we had a great turnout. COPA, though, stands for the Council of Peace Assembly. It was an all-day festival and celebration of community across the Star Atlas ecosystem. And maybe just to provide a little additional context, it was 7 hours of nonstop content with multiple tracks, multiple rooms where people were engaging. The emphasis of this event was to highlight the guild or the DAC ecosystem within Star Atlas, and a request was sent out back in May 20th, for presentations, a proposal for presentations. And we had 39 applicants who submitted a presentation to us from guilds all around the world. From that list, we had to curate that down given the time constraint of one full day. And so we selected 15 guilds to present their vision. And there was some criteria that was used to determine who got selected. But as you all know, as guilds, you're not just here playing a video game, you're participants and builders and developers and entrepreneurs yourselves. And so we wanted to showcase that and celebrate, again, community, particularly given a lot of the upcoming exciting releases that we have coming. And to some extent, as a way to celebrate one another in the hardest of times. And, when we think about where the market is today, sure, it's not great. But the reality is, and what I've seen in all of the traveling that I've been doing, is that the builders are still building. We're still here creating great products, and the energy across the blockchain and crypto ecosystem is massive. And so if we ignore price for the moment, which is really insignificant, if we ignore that and just attribute it to being short-term noise, what you realize is that this industry is truly impressive and truly growing and reaching mainstream. And so it was a celebration of all of that. We had some fantastic guests join us. Justin Kahn, formerly of Twitch, co-founder of Twitch and current founder of Fractal. We had the Marlin of Bassjackers, as you pointed out, Santi, and we had a really cool DJ set for lunch. We had Vivian Rosenthal, founder of Frequency. We did a breathwork session. We all got an opportunity to take a deep breath, relax, and kind of get high on our own supply, if you will, alongside many members of our team as well. We had Estefan on, he's head of growth. Anthony is our head of marketing intelligence. Luciano gave a fantastic presentation on the upcoming marketplace release that we have rolling out. And Mo, fan favorite, Mo gave an overview of the progress that we've been making on Scream, the upcoming 3D based web game coming out later this year. And I'd be remiss not to mention King of I Buy Power. They were sponsors on the event. They provided 5 sets of headphones, and they also provided a monster PC that we gave away to somebody in the community that was participating on the day. So big thanks again to I Buy Power for participating in
lucky
that.
Lucky guy, Kel from the club. Lucky guy.
Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous.
Me
But
too, man.
it's
Me too.
it was a beautiful machine, and it was all custom built and custom designed as a one-of-one Star Atlas PC. So a really cool prize. But overall, what a fantastic day, Santi. And I think to me, what was most important is just I think the community was reinvigorated. If the vigor wasn't already there, but a lot of passion, a lot of excitement, a lot of good times, a lot of people spamming Santi in the chat. But it was a great day. I was super happy just to be, spending the time with the community like that and listening in and seeing all the development that's going on throughout Star Atlas, not just from Automata, but also from the community.
Yeah. Also, shout out to the winners. Shout out to the club, Dark Matter and Coexist. And I see Coexist coming here with the profile pics. They have like the same profile pic from Copa Champion, all the Coexist members. So if you scroll down here, you actually will see all the Coexist profile pics. That's really cool.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, big
I
shout out
did
to
forget
them.
to mention, big shout out to them for sure. And we should just announce the order of the winners as well. It was Coexist came in first place, again, landmark event for them as well, making history, first ever Copa. Dark Matter came in second place. The club came in third place. Everybody, I think, was really a winner, just having participated, and everybody that submitted a presentation to us, whether they took home one of the prizes or not, we'll be working closely with them one-on-one to ensure that we're helping facilitate their own development objectives and bringing the tools and the infrastructure to them that's necessary to succeed in the metaverse of Star Atlas. But I did also just quickly want to mention, I don't want to forget, Matt Sorg from Solana also joined us right at the beginning of the festival and gave some insights as to state of gaming within Solana and blockchain gaming in general. And he's a guy that's deeply experienced in game development, formerly working at Riot Games. So he's got a good pulse on the way the game development industry works, and it's amazing to see talent like that come over to the blockchain space and Web3 space.
Yeah, really happy to have someone from Solana Foundation supporting us as well during Copa. And I have a quick question for you, Michael, before we move to the next topic. You gave a really good speech at the beginning of Copa. What inspired you when you were writing that? Or was it like spontaneous?
Santi, it was, I guess it was relatively spontaneous. The reality is it came from the heart, and that inspiration is, and that passion is what I believe and feel every single day for what we're building. So what I did want to do, what I hopefully accomplished, was invoking the imagination. As we're still very early here, a lot of it is conceptual. A main reason we love sci-fi and we love space and we love the ability to build a better future is because we can imagine things, and if we can imagine things, we can manifest them. And that's what we have to do every day as builders, right? As innovators. So that was my goal. But really, it was just sharing my thoughts from the heart, and hopefully people took that as inspirational and empowering and felt good about it.
Yeah, definitely. It felt really good, man. Not gonna lie. I think everybody loved the speech. So Great job, man. Great job.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. I know we have some content of our own that will be released. I happened to catch a sneak peek of a cut that the RevOps team is working on of that intro keynote. If you want to watch the whole raw recording, I know we had one of the guilds out there, it was Rome, I think, that
Yeah.
streamed the whole thing. So they have the full 7-hour recording on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, haven't listened in, I'd encourage you to spend some time and go check it out because it was such a cool event.
Yeah, and they're streaming the Townhall now, so big shout out to Rome for always covering everything related to Star Atlas.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So I think we can move to the next topic. Something that also is that I want to ask you, Michael. With we announced the IBA Power partnership during COPA, but we also have other partnerships. Like, would you like to touch on a few of them?
Sure. I mean, just quickly on iBuyPower, clearly these guys build top of the line gaming equipment. We're building AAA quality gaming. So, it was important for us to reach out to that traditional hardware community and find somebody who could help us deliver best in class gaming products to our community, to our user base. And so, one cool thing coming from that is that you will, in the very short term, be able to purchase Star Atlas branded PCs directly from iBuyPower. I think it's such a cool way to get that exposure out there again to the mainstream. And for those of you that are looking to upgrade, here's your opportunity to buy a Star Atlas PC, which is really neat. Some of the other big announcements, and there have been many, but some of the more recent ones were an announcement of a MoonPay integration. This is, they're a leading fiat on-ramp for mainstream users into crypto, enabling the purchase of NFTs and cryptocurrencies with a credit card and debit card. So this is all part of the process of simplifying the user experience and making it easier for people all over the world to get involved in this ecosystem. And then one that maybe isn't totally understood, but it's this relationship that we formed with Kudelski. Now, Kudelski is a leading digital security firm, one of the oldest in the world, self-described as the biggest company that you've never heard of, which is an interesting way to describe oneself. But what's important about this relationship is twofold. First and foremost, crypto can be a scary place. And as we know, there's a lot of exploits. There's been a lot of vulnerabilities. Star Atlas has never been exposed to an exploit or vulnerability because we put such emphasis on ensuring the security of our users, but also the security of the programs that we develop. And so we'll be working closely with Kudelski on every on-chain program that we release on Solana, or at least as many as possible within their pipeline, while working with additional auditing firms, but working closely with them to ensure that our programs are safe and secure, and that users that are depositing assets there are safe and secure. Don't want to say too much about the next part, but I will say that we're looking at working very closely with them on building foundational frameworks and intellectual property for on-chain gaming, because of this position that we take and the development methodology that we use to actually produce Star Atlas as a game, with a lot of the logic abstracted from the game engine and delivered on the blockchain. So really, truly using the blockchain as a backend for our gaming product, which not very many people are doing whatsoever. So very important relationship for us. It's really about you, the community, and the users. And that's why we're working with best-in-class companies all over the world.
Yeah, thank you for covering this, man. I know that there was probably some clarity needed on what the relationships are and why. So thanks for covering it. Now we can jump on a new topic. Just a quick updates for the community. We just launched the new faction channels, and they are moving. Not sure, Michael, if you saw the faction propaganda and how it's going, but this is getting interesting, man.
Oh, I tried to stimulate that fire a little bit. I've absolutely seen it. I love the content that's coming out, and COPA was about bringing people together, but I think there's a definite cloak and dagger in there somewhere because the controversy seems to have been stirred up a bit.
Yeah, man. So for everyone listening now, I just dropped the link to the chat to go and pick your faction so you can get access to the private faction channels, which they're starting to get interesting. People are starting to get organized and because it's going to be insane, especially once Scream is out. The coordination needed is going to be really, really important to be able to play. So and to do a good job at it. So that's really important. Another update that we have is that we launched the Star Atlas official community account called We Are Star Atlas. Dominic just dropped the link on the Townhall chat. So if you want, I mean, you should give it a follow right now because we know that we have like a huge, huge community. Everybody's building. We see new stuff every day. And we had to create it mainly because you guys are putting so much content out that we can't just keep up with one account. So that's why we love seeing the content and we want to give it the exposure that it deserves. So go follow the We Are Star Atlas Twitter community account. And now I think if I'm not missing anything, Michael, we can jump right into the interviews. Any last comments?
No, let me just say I am going to hold back on any major updates today on project progress. So Copa was filled with alpha. In fact, it could be short for just copious amounts of alpha that was released, and that was again just last Thursday. We also have the new Atlas Star edition coming out today with some updates on projects. But one of the big pieces of alpha that I had the opportunity and pleasure to drop is kind of why, Santi, you have a new trademarked handle here in Discord. But it's that 4 to 6 meme is truly back on the table here. We are planning for 5 to 6 major feature releases to come out within the next 4 to 6 weeks. The marketplace will be kicking all of that off, followed by the DAO. We have the Volant Studio showroom coming up in there. Alongside that, maybe a little bit after, is the first time ever announced a prequel graphic novel, which is a comic book format of the story and lore preceding current era Star Atlas, and it's looking really cool. I know there's some shots that we've released out there as well of that content. And then a couple of like supplementary programs is we'll have a new referral program coming out associated with the marketplace. And this is where you can recruit new people into Star Atlas and you can actually use the points, the loyalty points earned there to purchase ships. So a way to earn yourself some free ships. And then also what I did want to distinguish is there's really 2 parts of the DAO that are coming out shortly. It's the DAO framework. An application which is necessary for us to integrate multiple features coming in the future. And so the first feature that we're including along with that DAO framework is the Polis Locker program. So your ability to lock tokens and earn emissions from the DAO itself. And the next feature in the pipeline for the DAO is Atlas staking. And Atlas staking will provide you some benefits on the marketplace as well. So I just wanted to mention that quickly. We won't get into the detail here. Let's definitely save time. We have some amazing guests. So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Santi.
Thank you, man. Thank you. You dropped some little alpha. I love it. So now we move into Jim for our first guest of the day. Hello, Jim. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, Santi. How are you?
Doing really good, man. Really happy to have you here on stage. We have been chatting for a long time. You are one of the OGs of Star Atlas, actually. We joined pretty much at the same time back in March, April 2021.
Yeah. It's it's interesting that OG. It's a year, but there you go. I agree. It's fun to be on here. Thank you for everybody for having me, and I'll try to imagine there's not 300 more people listening to me right now.
Yeah, man, you will do great. I'm super sure about that. So let's start easy. Like, tell us a little bit. People want to know you. Tell us a little bit about who you are. What's your background?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a software engineer. been doing software engineering for 26 years professionally. Primarily my background is in video games with Activision Value. And then that was back in the 90s, early 2000s. And then after that, moving into visual simulations, visual rendering systems, basically like military planning systems. So soldiers that were being deployed could see and go see where they were being deployed in 3D, could walk around, could so a lot of GIS, and again a lot of 3D rendering, a lot of volume rendering. So big cities, being able to be deployed in Baghdad, for example, and being able to walk around and know where hospitals and mosques and all that kind of stuff was. And then from there moved into flight simulators. Again, really focusing on visual systems, so everything you see outside the windows of flight simulators. And I don't mean X-Plane or Microsoft Flight Simulator, but fully approved FAA motion and non-motion visual rendering systems. And then from there into mobile gaming, and then now Star Atlas. So
Yeah, man. That's what I was about to say. Like everything is super related to a lot of projects that we actually have inside Star Atlas.
Yeah. It was when I was fortunate enough to meet Michael Liu and online and begin to kind of interview. That was one of the things that was really attracted me to Star Atlas. The idea of flying a spaceship from celestial bodies down onto planets, and the challenge that comes with rendering that stuff. Was absolutely just kind of exciting. Some of the best times I've had in my career was working in the flight simulator space. That was one of the things that was really exciting for me about coming to Star Atlas. So
yeah, man, we're happy to have you with us. Not gonna lie. So
thank you.
Tell us what you do in Star Atlas. What does your day-to-day look like?
Yeah, besides keeping Michael Liu in line, just kidding. Fundamentally, I work with the teams, the game team and the web team, and I kind of just either work on kind of some of the bigger, deeper challenges, down kind of the core levels, and the other thing that I do is I help them to understand the bigger picture of what we're doing and how we want to implement that. When it comes to Scream, how are we integrate? How do we work with WebGL, and how do we build video games? Which a lot of web developers have built web apps, but building a video game with a real-time update loop and physics and networking code happening in real time, it's a different ball game. And so just kind of helping all of the developers build that in a solid structure is one of the things that I do. The one team that I don't really work with more direct, I work with them from an outside, but I don't actually write any code, is on the blockchain. But if it's web, it's gaming, it's Unreal 5, it's Scream, all of them. My fingers and my hands are in juggling kind of all of those things.
Yeah, I mean, for your background and experience, like I say, you're able to add a lot of value to a lot of different projects that we have inside Star Atlas. So you also kind of do like some kind of connection between blockchain and the game as well, for what you said.
Yeah. So we've got great blockchain developers, and Jacob, I kind of call him a blockchain native. Jacob Floyd, our CTO, has been working on blockchains for forever. But one of the places that I really focus on is how do we make our web apps, how do we make our games connect to the blockchain and work with the blockchain, and how do you take the concept of games, as we were talking about the other day, games are basically a series of choices, and those choices have cause and effect, and that is what a game loop is, and that's what creates fun. And so how do we do this distributed system of cause and effect, where a cause is happening on the game client or a cause is happening on the web client, like the marketplace, and then how do you have the effect come from the blockchain? That really hasn't been done, as we're such kind of a new era in the blockchain, that really hasn't been done in the gaming space. So being able to work on those kind of things are what I do. I don't know if that's too technical or too abstract there, but that's primarily what I focus on when it comes to the blockchain.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to be a little technical, man. We have some really technical people as well in the audience, so it's cool. So following up to what you said, like I have an interesting question. What do you think that are the biggest challenges for a company like Star Atlas in terms of engineering?
Yeah, wow, that's a great question. Besides finding developers, but yeah, worldwide shortage,
Yeah.
right? So I think there's the two big challenges as I see them, and in a game like Star Atlas, one, and we kind of talked about it, is the cause and effect and the distributed system. The other that I'll kind of touch on maybe later is density. But if we just think about kind of blockchain, like I was talking about, games run in this what they call a game loop, right? If you're trying to get 60 frames a second, every 16 milliseconds, the game is updating the world, whether the player is doing anything or not. The monster is doing its A-star search to find where the sound was. It's the other players are moving. Things are happening in this real-time game loop. And one of the challenges of the blockchain is the blockchain is on-demand computing. And again, to get a little abstract and a little technical, that means it requires somebody outside of it to trigger the compute to happen. Versus a game, when you're playing, Halo, whatever, you playing it, and it's the CPU is just running and doing all the processing. It's not the blockchain. If you do you make one request to it, it does a bit of compute, and then it basically stops until the next request comes in, and that creates complexity. And even Solana, which is to me the best blockchain out there, having worked with Ethereum and Polygon, which I think Polygon's good, but then getting into Solana, you still can't necessarily build a system that's sending requests to drive the game forward every 16 milliseconds, right? Because it's just, they're not really designed for that. So how can we build a system that still continues to drive the game forward, and not basically require it to be, click-fi, right? Where you're not requiring that the user doesn't just sit there and click to drive the game forward. And I think from a industry standard, from what I can tell from an industry, this is very new, and there hasn't been a lot of stuff that's been developed yet. And I think because you can't drive the game forward very easily, that's created game loops that are really very basic. And ultimately, what creates fun in games is complexity, right? How do how do you start to build complex decision trees, and how do you start to build complex game systems? But again, if you have this fundamental problem of not being able to drive your game world forward without a user taking an interaction, it begins to really make it a big struggle to drive games forward. And I think so that's one of the things that I'm working on with the other talented people at Star Atlas, is how do we do that, and how do we do that in a way that, again, will work and not necessarily just crush a blockchain. And then the other issue that I'm working on a lot with other talented people is density, and whether it's a blockchain game or not. If how do you have 5,000 people running around the same central star base? How do you have 800 ships, all fighting for the same spot in a solar system? And not only do you have visual rendering density issues there, you have noise. If any of you watch a Twitch stream and bazillion chats are going by, you can't read a single one of them, so you got visual noise there. But then you also have this concept of what's called quadratic network effect, where every player has to get the update from every other player. And so the other thing that we're working on, and sometimes why we can't just win game here with Star Atlas, is we're working on that density, because one of the things that really attracted me to Star Atlas is the fact that it's really wants to be a big open MMO, where it's not instance where 50 people are only playing with each other on one server and 100 people only playing with each other on another server, but instead it really has this big goal of being this massive world universe, massive galaxy with hundreds of thousands of people all playing with each other, which will also then, of course, drive the economy, which is kind of the game within a game when it comes to blockchain games or Web3 games.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. I'm really glad that we are able to speak about this and even get a little technical on it, because this has been asked by the community a lot of time. Like we receive a lot of questions on this front. So thank you for covering it, Jim. And I have a last question for you. Also a difficult one, but uh, how confident are you that we are going to be able to deliver something like that?
Yeah, hopefully not overly confident, but very confident. It's kind of interesting. I think you and I were talking the other day, or someone was talking. You know, I was watching on Disney Plus kind of the making of the Star Wars series. You know, and before Lucas started making the original Star Wars, like, you know, Star Wars space movies were like Buck Rogers, and part of it being so cheesy was that they didn't have the technology to do that realistic stuff, and he hired some of the best people, and they put their minds together, and they figured out, you know, not only how to make the Star Wars movie, but how to make THX and Lucasfilm and Industrial Light and Magic, right? And Ed Catmull is one of my heroes of the industry, like figured out how to make a computer render textures and do 3D models, right? So and that all kind of not only making that movie. So I feel like one of the really awesome things about having such a great community and such a great team at Star Atlas is we're going to be able to do that. You know, we're going to be able to build these tools, build these systems that drive blockchain games to be able to do ever more complex, you know, game loops on that are blockchain native, and not just use the blockchain as an inventory management and a microtransaction payment system, but actually put game loops that are, again, blockchain native. I think Star Atlas, we really have the ability to do that. And those are again, when I look at why I'm not retired yet at 26 years doing this, it's this exciting opportunity to one day maybe look back 15 years from now and be like, yeah, I helped create the industrial light and magic, if you will, of the blockchain gaming space, of the Web3 gaming space. And so I'm very confident, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for the answer. It was a great example and truly inspiring. And I think I speak in the name of the whole Star Atlas team that we are very happy to have you with us, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah. So thank you for coming today, man.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Fun fact about Jim, I want to share this with the community, is that he can often be seen walking on his treadmill during calls. So great multitasker. Thanks, Jim. Really appreciate you, man. You've been doing an amazing job for us.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it.
So now we have Christopher as well with us. Christopher, are you here? How are you doing?
Greetings, Navigator.
Doing good, man?
Good, doing great. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming. So Christopher, he's senior game designer for Sperasoft with Star Atlas. And let's start easy as well with you, Christopher. So tell me a little bit about you, about your background. What have you been doing in your life?
Yeah, been designing games for about 20 years now. Started in the industry as a game tester at Nintendo. Worked on cool titles like Pikmin and Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube.
Nice.
And got my foot in the door. Worked my way up through the industry. I was an assistant producer at Surreal Software for a while on The Suffering Ties That Bind. I got entry-level game design position at Handheld Games, working on children's titles, Nintendo DS titles. And then from there, started doing a lot of work at Microsoft because I'm originally from the Seattle area. So that's where Microsoft's based out of, and worked at like Turn 10. I worked at Minecraft. I also moved to Thailand for a couple of years, worked on a bunch of mobile games. So I've like a wide breadth of different types of titles and consoles and all that kind of stuff. And so now here I am working on Star Atlas.
Oh yeah, again, like same with Jim. We are really happy to have you here. But you told me a good story about Minecraft and what you did there.
Yeah.
Can you share with the community as well?
Yeah. I worked at Minecraft for about 6 years, and about halfway through that, I ended up working on the VR experience for Minecraft. So it was kind of like the Wild West VR. The Oculus Rift hadn't come out yet, so I was working with the MK1 and doing a lot of research, trying different types of games, like demos that were out there and stuff, and designing the experience for VR for that. Also, before that, I worked a lot with mashup packs. So, like, for example, the Halo mashup pack. It had been on the marketplace for quite some time and wasn't really selling the greatest. And they handed it to me and was like, add a bunch of gameplay to it. So I spent about 6 months working with Redstone and command blocks and adding gameplay to all the different elements. So I don't know if any of you are aware of the Halo mashup pack, but it's one big giant world that was created by 343, and it features various different areas of Halo from different Halo levels. And there was nothing to do except just explore and look at stuff. And so when I got in there, I started adding gameplay to each of the different areas and adding gates. And so like it became more of a linear gameplay experience, adding spawn points for enemies and all that kind of fun stuff. And after we released it, Halo Mashup Pack 2.0 is what I called it. It became one of the top selling mashup packs. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, man, that's a great story. I love it. I love it. I wanted you to share with the community as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I have another one. What are your favorite games of all time? Like, where do you take inspiration from, or something like that?
Oh man, ever since I designed the VR experience for Minecraft, I've been hooked on VR. And like I've been a VR fan like ever since I was a little kid. My dad took me to the arcade and I played Dactyl, which was like back in the what is it, early 90s, where it was like those big like booths that you stood in with the big giant clunky plastic VR headsets, and you had a little gun in the game and a little like plunger that you shot out, and there was a pterodactyl that flew around. I'm sure some of you guys are aware of that. But like, yeah, I mean, like I've been a VR fan my whole life. Lawnmower Man, love that movie, all that kind of stuff. So when it was finally a chance to actually work on VR was amazing, and being able to work on like, the cutting edge of that type of stuff, and it was the Wild West and all that kind of stuff. So ever since then, to answer your question, I've been hooked on VR. So I've been playing a lot of stuff like Onward, Population One. I'm a huge Echo Arena fan. Echo Combat even more so. A lot of times you guys will find me in the hub bugging everyone. Come on, let's do combat instead of arena. Come on, let's do combat. So I'm like that annoying guy that's begging everyone to do combat as opposed to arena. But I mean, what? Eve Valkyrie. I freaking love dogfighting in space. It's amazing. I just wish I could feel the G forces. I mean, that would be epic. And then also Spark, which is a really good one. Not many people are playing it lately, but like it's like Disc of Tron, and like I mean, it's just amazing, and it's a great workout. I mean, it's just so much fun, so much fun. So like I love those kinds of games. I've been playing a lot of VR, but also like I've been playing video games my whole life, right? Like
Yeah.
what is it? Gosh, so like there's a lot of stuff like recently and even over the years that I love, like Red Dead, of course, like let's
Mm.
see, Half-Life, huge Half-Life fan, Team Fortress Classic all the way, like Commander Keen back in the 90s. Gosh, fighting against Killer Instinct, Orchid's my player, like I mean like I can go on and on. It's like being a game
Yeah.
designer, you have to play every game. So
Oh, that's great, man. And actually, I know that I can feel it, and I'm sure the community as well. But you can really feel the passion when you speak about it, man. Like you can really
oh yeah,
feel it.
it's
Yeah,
my
man.
dream job. I love it.
Yeah, I love that. So I have another question, moving from the from game, but not from gaming. But what is your role at Star Atlas? What do you do at Star
Sure.
Atlas?
Yeah, well, my official title is senior game designer, but I'm pretty much the lead. That's here at Sperasoft. I got a team, very talented designers. Got a couple technical designers and level designers and game designers, and we're focused on making. Currently, been focused a lot on making the Volent studio, the showroom, great
Mhm.
and amazing. And I can't wait for everyone to check it out.
Oh man, we can't wait either. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, yeah. Also, a large part of my role is I'm kind of like you would call the liaison between Automata and Sperasoft. So like, the Floyds, Danny Floyd, coming up with these great ideas, and we get all this great stuff from Automata, and then I kind of assimilate that information into documentation, and then work closely between constantly bugging Danny and other people on the Automata side, and then making sure that things are clear, throwing in my input, giving feedback, taking feedback from Sperasoft's side, going back and forth with design and making sure that things are scoped correctly, and then making sure that our team, rolls out the end product. So far, it's
Nice,
looking
nice,
great.
nice. Yeah. Sounds like fun, man. I actually do the same sometimes when you mention bugging Danny. I'm
Yeah,
the guy who who bugs Danny as well. So yeah,
yeah, Danny's great to work with.
yeah, Danny is super responsive, really
I love
great to
his
work with.
vision too.
Yeah. So I have another question, man. Something that has been in the community, like Sperasoft is like a major topic in the community, and
Yeah.
everybody's just speaking about Sperasoft, but what is the Sperasoft? Tell us.
Yeah, well, Sperasoft is a huge global company. Like we currently got, thousands of experts worldwide around working on various different separate projects. We're separated into teams. Each team is involved in different projects, mostly all game development. And also, when a team is, been assigned to a project, we don't jump from project to project. We stay on one project until we release it. So currently right now, we have our Star Atlas team. We're fully invested with our time, knowledge, and passion into Star Atlas. Like we're definitely focused and dedicated. It's great. We're also expanding our attendance worldwide and more into Europe as well, I guess, by opening new offices in Europe. So we're expanding. It's a great opportunity to make our team the greatest that Sperasoft has ever been because of the involvement. We have so many talented people across art, engineering, and design and all that kind of stuff in countries that we have never even been in before. Also, we'll be coming out soon with an announcement. It'll be really great about Sperasoft. So you'll see, we got new stuff coming.
Nice. Building the hype as well for Sperasoft. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah,
So I just dropped the link of the Sperasoft webpage on the Townhall chat. If anyone wants to go and check it, it's there. So another question. Tell us some games that Sperasoft actually developed.
yeah. Gosh, they've done so many. Like I can think of like Rainbow Six, like what's featured on the website. Assassin's Creed
Yeah,
Valhalla, um, Halo Infinite. Done a lot of level work for that title. Um, Call of Duty, Formula One, which is great. I love racing. I actually worked on Forza 4 and 5 at Turn 10 at Microsoft, so that's right up my alley. Yeah, and we even have a big love for sci-fi as well. So like you can even like back in the day, like we worked on stuff like Knights of the Old Republic for Star Wars. We did stuff
nice.
for Battlefront and even Mass Effect. So there's a lot of sci-fi stuff we've done as well. So there's a lot of talented sci-fi passion going into Star Atlas, and I mean it definitely shows.
Yeah, man. And you actually keep naming stuff where you worked on, man. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Like you have more and more. So also another question is like, how does I know you covered it a little bit, but how does Sperasoft actually work together with Star Atlas? Like the Sperasoft team, like do they have full-time workers with Star Atlas?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're all dedicated. Our team for Star Atlas at Sperasoft is focused solely on Star Atlas. So we've been spending all our time on the Volent Studio showroom right now. So um, like I mentioned earlier, there's just a lot of stuff coming from Automata side, from Star Atlas side, and it's like, hey, we're thinking this, let's do this. I work with them. Okay, cool. Maybe this is possible. Let's scope it, and then the team rolls forward. And we got a lot of talented artists and engineers working on all that type of stuff, along with my design team. So that's what we do. It's basically like an iterative process where we work together and make sure that we have a great project. So, and pretty much, everyone will see that. So I'm excited. I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Oh yeah, we can't wait as well, and it's great to have you from speaking from the Sperasoft side because we never had any guest from Sperasoft, and I think it's super interesting, and the community really wanted to hear a little bit about Sperasoft and how actually our two companies work together. So I think this gives everyone like a good good view on how everything is being developed.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, of course we can't go a lot into detail, but yeah, man,
Yeah.
like thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. I'm sure that we will have you again in the future if you want. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, really enjoyed the conversation.
Sure thing. Yeah. Thanks again for having me.
Christopher, that was such a great job, man. Before you jump, I just have one question I wanted to pose for you. And it kind of speaks to the level of quality and fidelity that AAA is representative of. And Danny says this often, kind of refers to the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule for anyone who's ever heard that. But, Danny often refers to 90% of the work taking place in really the last 10% of development. It's the fine detail. It's the minutia. It's like every corner, every pixel needs to be perfect. And we've seen some great content coming out from the community, but people do often ask us, like, why is it taking as long as it's taking? But can you maybe just elaborate a little bit on, that level of detail that you guys put into everything that gets produced?
Yeah, gosh, I mean, the artists, they're still focused on making things look great, and we keep going through various different iterative processes of like, oh, this looks good, oh, but we can do it better. Okay, let's try this. Oh, this looks better. And then from a design standpoint, it's like, well, this is fun, but can we do this? This would make it better. It's always like, how can we make it better? And so since this is like kind of the wild west of gaming with crypto, and we want to make sure that our audiences, our community loves the game. It's their first time seeing their ships and being able to run around and explore that. We really want to make it as best as we can. And so it's always, how can we make it better? So it's very iterative. We're always constantly finding new things that we could do to improve. And because this is going to be a great, example, great showroom for everyone to experience. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, man, it does. I appreciate that. Christopher, thanks again. Really appreciate you coming on. And Jim, I think we still have him on. Jim, thanks so much for joining us as well. You guys are welcome to hang out a little bit. We have 10 minutes or so of questions coming up, and I'm sure some people have some questions for you guys. So, Santi, should we roll into questions now?
Oh yeah. If you have any question and you're in the audience and you have any question, please raise your hand, and I will be letting people in shortly on stage. So please feel free to raise your hand. I invited Bodhi, an old friend. Oh, I see some names, some well-known names popping up here. Let's get somebody on stage. Comparator, welcome to stage. How are you doing, friend?
Oops, push to talk. Sorry, forgot. Thanks for the invitation, and thanks to our hosts and guests for coming. Well, I've heard from other games communities the question often whether Sperasoft is a company which rather contributes to the development of games. You have, for example, listed games like The Outer Worlds on your product page, which is, if I remember correct, a product of Obsidian Entertainment. And so I often heard the question whether Sperasoft is doing rather contributing to development or is doing major parts of development for games. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
can.
contributing to. So, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go
Someone
ahead.
else answering that?
Go
I
ahead,
thought that
Christopher. Yeah,
first
give
for
him
me.
your take.
Yeah. No, I mean, like we contribute and we also do major parts depending on the project. So, yeah, I hope that kind of sums it up.
Yeah, thank you a lot. This was just something so I can. This was just a question so I can get back to my other communities to tell them about Sperasoft and their contribution and work and so on. Thank you a lot for answering. Yeah, have a good evening or day.
Yeah, thank you.
Christopher, you guys might be picking up some additional business as a result from this. But just to add a little clarity from the Automata side as well, and again for everyone who isn't familiar, Automata is the studio, the lab behind Star Atlas. We're the creators and builders, but we have a dedicated internal game development and design team. We've been working with Sperasoft alongside a number of additional co-development studios now for many months. And the logic from our perspective was we're building a team from scratch here. We started with 4 people back in January of 2021, and we now, I can proudly say, over 220 people collectively across the company, and a large part of that, I think some 64 people now, full-time dedicated personnel from Sperasoft working on Star Atlas now. We will continue to scale and grow our internal team and continue to leverage those resources and those people to coordinate with co-development studios. It allows us to scale more rapidly and develop quicker and bring great products to you sooner, which I'm sure everybody is on board with. So just wanted to clarify, we work great with the co-development studios, but we are continuing to scale our team as well.
Okay, thanks for the answer, Michael, as well, and thanks, Comparator, for the great question.
Thanks for answering and giving me the opportunity to ask. Thank you a lot. Yeah, I will move now back to audience. Thank you a lot. Yeah.
See you, my friend. Bye-bye.
See
We
ya.
have Signal as well on stage. Hello, Signal. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you, my friend?
Doing good as well. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, my question was, and I absolutely love Michael's statement of, how meticulous everyone is in production, how much attention to detail there is, how every little pixel needs to be perfect, as he said. With Showroom, kind of around the corner, and for us getting our first glimpse and exposure to it, could you expand a little bit on how that philosophy extends to the product that we're about to interact with? How polished should we expect to see Showroom in our first glance? Just to set expectations.
Well, Christopher, you might want to jump in and respond to this as well from your side. I'll just say, Signal, I think I work for you pretty much full time, given the questions that come in through Foundation Room and and here on the Townhall. But what I will note before Christopher jumps in is that this is also an iterative release schedule. Now, I would anticipate, and you should expect, an incredibly high quality of detail for V0 of the Showroom release. More content will be coming, which will include extensions and additions to the map itself, to the environment, but also the introduction of more fully polished and fully refined ships. So, there's an entire art pipeline that takes concept art all the way through a fully modeled and polished and a textured and rendered ship. And so given the quantity of ships that we have and different distinct ship models, it will take us some time to get all of those prepared to fully load in full fidelity in the Showroom. But even on this V0 release, we have all of the gray box models with some cool texturing on it. So they'll at least be able to be pulled into the Showroom, just not finalized. But Christopher, anything you want to add on to that with respect to detail and quality of Showroom?
Yeah, really the biggest thing is this is the first taste of what to expect. And so, I hate spoilers, so I really don't want to spoil it for you guys. I'm excited. I can't wait for everyone to experience it. But really, it's all about this is the first taste. You're going to get to see your ships. So we want this to be a great experience. And this is just the beginning. So.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Michael, I absolutely love you. Thank you so much for taking so much of your time to answer my questions. It's not lost on me how much work you spent responding to the things that I bring up. Santi, you're amazing. Love you guys. Have an incredible day.
Thank you, Signal.
Yeah, big virtual hugs, man. I appreciate it. And, I love responding to the questions as well. So keep them coming.
Much love, Signal. That he was so kind. We have as well Lucius here with us. Hello, my friend. How are you doing?
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be here. It's super exciting to be part of this, and I want to thank you all the entire Star Atlas team. You're delivering something incredible to us, and I, for one, representing the entire Chimera community, really appreciate it. And I have just one question. I'm wondering whether or not there's going to be, and I know this is a long time away. There's still a lot of things to do, but I'm wondering if, by any chance, when everything is up and running, when it comes to Scream and the showroom, if what happens in Scream somehow will be reflected in the showroom. Like if, for instance, our assets or our bases get to be attacked or something like that, if it's going to be reflected in our living quarters and in the place in which we have our assets, if it's something that you have thought about or if something that might become later in the development phase. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, man. That's a great question, and kudos to you guys, by the way, for your presentation on Copa. It was one of my personal favorites. So well done
Ahí está
there.
diciendo, thank
Yeah,
you.
of course. So we put a ton of thought into this, actually, and the original concept of what we were calling the mini game, which is really now more expansive than a mini game, given the level of fidelity, building in WebGL, fully 3D enabled browser based video game. When we made that decision, the current thinking is that most likely it's going to be a distinguished product line now. We originally were planning on having close intersection so that activities in the web-based game would correspond to activities and kind of like resolution in the Unreal Engine game as well. Again, given the direction that we're taking right now, it's less likely that they'll be fully integrated, although we are thinking through different paths right now where certain actions or certain consequences or certain activities will relate to both. And we do still want to create this unified sense of gaming throughout all things Star Atlas. So we will be working hard on that, to your point. Still very far down the line. So while we don't have a definitive direction on it right at the moment, it is something that we're thinking through.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And again, you guys are doing an amazing job. It's very hard to find a team with such communication and with such amazing people interacting with us in the community, and we never take it for granted. Thank you.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great, right?
It is.
I kind of want to put Jim in the hot seat here. I wish somebody would give him one of the tough questions.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim.
Let's do something. I will dismiss everyone who's raising the hand now, and only raise your hand if you have a question for Jim. Jim, putting you on the spot,
Thanks. I appreciate that so much.
Okay. So let's get. I see Lumina raising his hand.
In
Hello,
case you
Lumina.
couldn't tell, Jim is also our resident in-house sarcasm expert. So as he's come to be known and titled.
Senior Director of Sarcasm. I think it'd be my official title.
Hey, Jim. Hey, Christopher. Hey, Santi. Hey, Michael. I have a question for Jim, and I have a question for Christopher, if you don't mind. For Jim, what's the hardest thing that you came across in terms of programming in the game? And also for Chris, as we know, with the Unreal Engine 5, it's really big. And Lumen is really heavy too with the graphics card. So what type of optimization are you guys thinking about for the sort of a lower end graphic cards? And if you're going to do a DLSS NVIDIA, or are you going to use an Unreal Engine's TSR for the optimization? Thanks.
Wow. Yeah. Great question. So most difficult thing besides working with Sperasoft? Just kidding. There's the sarcasm.
There you go. That's why he's the director of sarcasm.
There you go.
Exactly. Yeah, we won't talk about making jokes about Putin. But some of the more difficult things, like I kind of was talking about, for me, coming from gaming, from traditional gaming, from traditional rendering, kind of learning to work with the blockchain and working with Web3. I really wasn't interested in blockchain at all or crypto at all before coming on. I mean, my real excitement about coming on board with Star Atlas was space games and planet side rendering and talking through with Jacob and Danny kind of just the highest level of rendering, and you talked about nanite and lumens and the kind of leap forward that Unreal 5 is doing with graphics, in the fact that Danny comes from such a good pedigree of art and game design. Those were the things that really attracted me. But really, so far, if you will, one of the most biggest challenges has been learning to work with the blockchain and to throw some more sarcasm, to really try to apply solid development principles to this kind of wild west young environment that just likes to sling code and get it done, but ultimately doesn't build maintainable extendable systems necessarily as well. So those are one of the things, but really kind of talking about the two things that I talked about before. Every day, how do we build a game where the game universe doesn't automatically tick forward, and do that in a distributed system where hundreds of thousands of people are all interacting with it? Those are going to be huge, and yeah, very much working on the MMO StarCom stuff of how are we going to have 1,000 ships all in the same star system, right? How are we going to do that? Those are the big challenges that they're working on, and they're not easily solved. But we're working on them. Does that answer your question? So.
Yeah. Well, to some extent, yes. Well, thank you so much.
No problem.
Oh boy, I was hoping no one would ask me detailed technical questions about UE5, but here I go. Really, as far as optimization goes, we're doing a lot of optimizing, and all those visual tools and all that new stuff that comes with UE5. The artists, the technical designers are working a lot with that kind of stuff. There's a lot of ambition where we'll do something and then be like, oh, we got to dial it back, or, oh, it looks awesome. Oh, but we can't, we got to try this, or, especially for lower end machines, like you mentioned. So that's part of it. That's part of the iterative process, is really just, we want to make something the best experience we can possible for this new great experience. And it's like, what can we do? We're always pushing the edge. We're always pushing it and pushing it, even for low ends. Like, what can we run on it? Oh, we're going to have to dial it back again. Okay, let's try this. Oh, optimize this. Let's try that. So it's a constant flux of making sure what we can do and what's possible, but at the same time, what's feasible for lower end machines. So that's the best way I can answer that one.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And thanks a lot
Sure.
for having us tonight.
Thank you, Lumina, for coming on stage, and congratulations for winning Copa.
Thank you so much.
So now I think we are 5 minutes ahead of the scheduled time. So I think it's a good moment to close this town hall. I think it was a great one. I really appreciate you, Christopher and Jim, coming here with me. As always, you too, Michael. Don't be jealous. But yeah, so I think it was a great one. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Jim, for coming.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, just want to echo that sentiment. You guys did a fantastic job. Thanks for hopping up on stage with us. Jim, despite the nervousness of 300 people, you killed it. Christopher, you killed it. Thank you guys. And Santi, it's hard to believe that we've been doing this now for a year. What town hall number did you say we were on? Something like 31?
31.
That's wild, man. Time flies.
Yeah.
We've been having a lot of fun building, and so much more to come. As always, really appreciate all of you out there in the community for continuously supporting us and just being with us on this journey. So much more to come.
Yeah, definitely. It has been a wild ride, not gonna lie. It's been awesome. And we actually have more than 300 people, because we have, for example, Chimera. Big shout out to Chimera. They are translating the Town Hall Live for the Spanish speaking audience. And I see currently they have over 60 people. So big shout out to Chimera.
Amazing. Wow. Amazing.
and we're also live streaming on Twitter. So yeah, I think this is a good moment to close. Thank you all for coming to the Star Atlas Town Hall, and power to the people.
And 426.
Nice. See you everybody in the Twitter spaces right now, the after party. Everybody go to Twitter right now.